Hey, everybody. It's Tanya here from Tango Business Coaching. Using a new tool. This is take 2 because I think the first one completely failed because I'm learning. So in my effort to be messy versus right, here we go again, taking 2. So I wanted to pop on here quickly today because I continue to hear the answer to, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? And the answer is, oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. My calendar's so full. I'm so busy. So I thought, here we go again. I'm just going to talk about this again. And I want to talk about why it's important, because what happens with busyness is eventually it leads to burnout, which we all know because we've been talking about it for a couple of years now. This has been going on since even before COVID, this busyness being a badge of honor and wearing I'm busy as a badge of honor. So I want to move away from talking about busyness as a badge of honor and move instead to a culture of well-being. And why do we care about that? So the thing about being busy is that maybe you've got productivity in an employee for a short period of time, but we know that this is not sustainable. And eventually what's going to happen is your employees are either going to leave because they're getting poached by somebody who's promising something different than being busy, or they're going to leave of their own accord and find something different, or they're going to wind up taking time off either because they need short spurts of time off, or they're actually going to go off for disability reasons. So we certainly don't want that. This busyness piece is short term and not going to help you with attraction and retention of good quality, high level employees. So what we need is more of a long-term solution. So there's 3 things that I think you can start trying right away if you are a leader or more importantly, if you run an organization with employees. 3 things you can start doing immediately. We know that employees who are well produce more, are happier at work. They're going to get things done as well. It's going to be more for the long term. More importantly, if they feel like their employer cares about them, the chances of them going above and beyond and being highly engaged in your organization are much greater for you. So there really isn't any downside here of focusing on a culture of well-being. So 3 things. Number 1, if you are a leader, lead by example. So what does that look like? It looks like whatever your schedule is, whatever your hours of work are, declare them. Put those in your calendar, block time off in your calendar for work time and non-work time. And don't work outside of that. Hold the line on those boundaries. So that means if you are done working at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m., generally speaking, unless there's a real emergency, and I challenge you to define what a real emergency actually is, because most things that we do work-wise are actually not emergencies. So check that definition for yourself. But sending a quick email at 11 p.m., sends the wrong message to employees. So, and I know it, I've been guilty of doing it myself many times. So it's just quicker to respond in the moment than think about dealing with that later on in the day. But if you really organize yourself, create time in your day for response, create time in your day for work activities, create time in your day for meetings, necessary meetings, and then hold the line on it and talk to your employees about it. This isn't going to be an easy shift for you either. So if you goof up, talk about it. Hey, guys, I know I really want to set up these boundaries for myself, and I goofed. So here's what I need from you to help me hold these boundaries too. So if I'm sending an email at 11 p.m., call me out on it. It's cool. I know I need to do better for myself, and I need to do better for this team. So that's number 1. Number 2 is create new practices inside your team that actually honor each individual's needs. And I know that seems like crazy talk for some people, because isn't it more fair and equitable to have one consistent policy across the board? Not really, because that actually only honors some employees and not others, right? So an unlimited vacation policy might only work for some employees. It might not actually work for others. So really talk to your employees and find out what works for them, and create things like, if you can do it, obviously this all works around your organization and the type of business you're in. But if you can create flexible work arrangements, if you can create flexible time off arrangements, if you can create different kinds of working remotely situations, it could be leave policies, types of leaves where people need to go off for different reasons. Whatever it is, find out from your employees what's important to them for them. And if you can do it, do it. If it's something that's completely out there and you can't do it, then explain to the employee why you can't. And again, be transparent and upfront with them. Other things that employees might even want are things like wellness training or a personal development budget. Maybe they want growth opportunities. Maybe they want training. Maybe they want tuition reimbursement. Like whatever it is, just like talk to them and find out. My experience as leaders, we're so afraid of what employees are going to ask for that we just don't even ask. And that's actually not been my experience. Employees, generally speaking, are pretty reasonable about the things they want to do. Most employees want to show up and do a good job and, be validated and recognized for doing a good job. They don't actually want to go around asking for things that are like completely outrageous and crazy. So just ask them and be transparent and honest and do what you can for them. So that's the second one. The third one is encouraging this culture of well-being as the success metric. So moving away from I'm busy being a badge of honor to I'm well being a badge of honor. So what could that look like? That could look like talking about it in your team meetings. So dedicating 5 or 10 minutes to say, hey, what are your wellness success metrics this week? What did you do? And let's talk about that. Not only does that create the conversation that this is a good thing for us to talk about, but also creates a little bit of accountability for people, right? So if somebody wants to, go out for a walk 30 minutes, 5 times a week, did they do that? Did they even set up that goal? So being able to have that conversation with employees and share their stories, and this includes you as the leader as well, to share your stories. I held the line on my boundaries this week. That's amazing. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the things that went well. Let's talk about the things that could be better. So the second part of all of this is dealing with the unbusy response. So we want to get away from I'm busy being this badge of honor or just a flippant response, right? Because sometimes that's what people do. So here's what I'm asking for leaders. If you hear an employee say, I'm busy, to the question of how are you doing, I want you to stop and ask them, tell me more about why you're busy and what you're doing. Tell me about the workload that you have. How can I help you reprioritize your work? How can I help you delegate some of this work off? How can I help you figure out if you're actually doing the right work? A lot of employees are doing busy work and they don't even know that that's not work that they shouldn't be doing. So being their advocate for wellness, being their advocate for them holding their boundaries, and ensuring that they're actually doing work that is helpful and productive for your organization. So those are my 3: lead by example, create new practices that honor individual needs, and encourage a culture of well-being as a success metric. So I hope this was helpful. Obviously, if you have any questions, hit me up and let me know. Curious to know what you think about all this. And if you have any other great ideas, I would love to hear about it in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.